Well, my name is Alex. I have a Instagram and YouTube Love Sugar Show, and I want to thank you for taking the time for doing this interview.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, no problem. And the first question that I ask anyone that I ever interview is, how's everything going, not just in your music life, but also in your personal life as well?
More or less not bad. I just quit my day job, so I've got a lot of free time on my hands to pursue music related things, which is great.
That sounds great. I don't know
Yeah.
anyone there's very few people that love their day jobs, so
Oh yeah, it was bad. So we're done with it for now.
awesome. Did you kind of just want more time for music or?
Yeah, for the time being. We've got quite a bit going on as a band, but also like it's August. I wanted to enjoy my summer.
Yeah.
Um, I think we all remember taking summer vacations in our younger years from school, and I just don't ever really get one of those with the day job. So I wanted a summer vacation.
I hear that. I think adults deserve summers off too, but we have to pay bills and things, which kind of stinks.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
So I want to talk about the album. It does release on the 26th. How do you feel that it's finally finished?
Ecstatic, relieved, all the positives, all the good descriptors you can think of. It did take quite a while. All things said, and all things considered, it took a while to finish.
Yeah.
We released our first LP 4 or 5 years ago, almost a full 4 years, pushing five. So we were overdue for another full length, and we just had some obstacles, and now it's done, and I think we're really excited to get it out there and into the world.
Is there any nervousness or is it just more excited about just having it done?
Um, I mean, I guess as a band, we always hope that everyone who likes the first album likes this one too. I mean, I think
Mhm.
that's something every single band has felt. It's not a drastic change, but it's definitely there's some key fundamental differences in it than the first record.
Can you talk about some of those key differences?
Yeah, I think one of the big ones is a change in duties of lead guitar.
Hmm.
The first album and everything beyond that was wrote with one guitarist. Um, and we parted ways a couple of years ago just because he needed some time to focus on his health.
Yeah.
And we got another replacement, and unfortunately, he passed away.
Oh
So we
no.
spent all this time training him, writing with him, and he passed away. And then, we got another new guitarist, and every time you get a new one, you kind of got to start back from square one to some degree. So
Right.
we finally have a perfect fit in our friend Peter, who's playing guitar for us now, and he helped write the whole thing, and it worked out really well. So his writing style is very different compared to what we used to do. It used to be a little bit more stoner rock, blues scale type stuff, and I think that this album is overall it's more metal. I think that it's a little darker, both thematically and song wise. But I know that we set out we want to make it a doom metal album. We want it to sound like a metal album, not like a rock band.
Do you think the changes made the sound better for this new album?
I do, yeah, definitely,
Well, that's awesome. Like you said, changes always happen in bands, but sometimes it's for the better.
absolutely.
So the title "Bleed the Wicked, Drown the Damned" that's pretty intense. It
It
pretty
is.
pretty intense title. What's the meaning behind it?
Our singer Thad could probably give you a little bit more in-depth um, examination of it because he came up with it. But I think that this is a tough one
What does it mean for you, I guess, would
for
be a better
me.
question.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I think it's kind of intentionally ambiguous, and I think that
Hmm.
anyone can kind of uh, apply their own thoughts and feelings towards it, um, whatever suits them. I mean, I'm sure that we know a lot of wicked people in our lives that we all would like to bleed. Uh, either, and sometimes it's not just literally, but metaphorically,
Right.
you know? So yeah, I mean, you could look at it this way. I've got a big chip on my shoulder towards large corporations. Most
Hmm.
large corporations are pretty wicked in the way they treat people and resources. I mean, I'd love to, bleed them financially.
Yeah, for sure. Especially the bigger corporations, but
Yeah, most big business is pretty dirty stuff when you get into it.
so because of the title, is there like a certain theme that fans will be able to hear on the album?
Um, you know, uh, it's got a little bit of everything on there. There's some personal stories, but there's also some fictitious stuff in there as
Hmm.
well. The very last track is called "Waiting by the Gallows," and that's more or less like historical fiction,
Hmm.
based on the actual drowning of a witch.
Okay. Was there any of your personal stories in the album, or was it like a collective or?
No, we mostly leave that to Thad. He comes up with the lyrics. The rest of us really just write the music.
Hmm.
But I will say that sometimes, a certain riff or a song structure, I like to. It brings a visual nature to it of okay, this kind of sounds like what we would envision this happening.
Right.
Like like a galloping guitar riff will kind of harken to a galloping horse.
Yeah.
So, sometimes we write a song and me or somebody else will say, hey, this kind of makes me think of a castle, or this makes me think of, a swamp, or this makes me think of, a murder that happened, whatever it may be. And then
Right.
Thad can kind of take that seed and he'll build lyrics and a theme around that suggestion if he doesn't have one of his own.
Right. So, how would you describe this album to the fans who haven't heard it yet?
I would say that this is hopefully anybody who likes heavy music at all would like it. I think we crossed over to a little bit more traditional heavy metal
Hmm.
stylistically on this album, so I think it's a little bit more accessible. If people aren't just straight up, stoner metal, doom metal fans, but they kind of like, they like old Judas Priest, or they like, um, not things beyond Black Sabbath, basically, is what I'm getting at.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think it's accessible. I think it's dark. I think it's spooky.
Hmm.
I think it's
Well,
it'll be releasing end of September. So for the month of October, it's a great record to come out at that time.
exactly. Just in time for the spooky season.
That's right.
Yeah, I was from what I read on the band, when I listened to the album, I was expecting like a doom type stoner metal, but then when I listened to it, I'm like, oh, this is very different than that. It's like you said, it's anyone who likes metal, like you can appreciate it. And I'm like, this is really good.
Well, thank you.
So it was just different than what I was expecting based on all the research I did on the band. So I'm like, it was really good.
Yeah, we definitely took a step. Like there isn't any. We shortened the songs up a little bit. So instead of these big, 7, 8, 9 minute songs that bands of this genre kind of fall into, we tried to keep them a little bit shorter, so we got to
Mhm.
the point quicker. So you can hear more songs and more themes, more lyrics, and more riffs in a shorter amount of time, which is, I don't mean, it suits the record, and I think we accomplished it as far as keeping them shorter, keeping them a little bit more accessible, making them just a little bit more overall metal.
For sure. I think you definitely capture that perfectly.
Thank you.
So, do you have a favorite song on the album?
Yeah, I think yeah, my favorite would be the final track.
And why would that be?
It's it's got this really fun kind of like 80s kind of feel to
Hmm.
it, like very old school classic. I wouldn't say the word epic because it's not epic, but it does have a the riffs and the way it's structured is that's the historical song I was mentioning earlier.
Hmm.
So I just I like the theme, of kind of a witch finder, and he's on a hunt, and it's a lot of fun. And the riff itself is kind of discordant, so it's got this really kind of melancholy moroseness to it, but still powerful.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it's the best track. It's the final track.
it's a good way to end the album, right? With the strongest song.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Go out with a bang.
So, were there any unexpected challenges during the whole recording process?
Um, I mean, outside of just some like small equipment failure type stuff, you know, strings break, little pieces on guitars break, and you got to fix them and get new parts. And sometimes amplifiers don't want to behave with you, and they short out or blow a tube right before you're going to the studio. So, basic stuff, basic stuff. Nothing out of the ordinary though, or no catastrophes.
What about like during the writing process? Did everything go smoothly there, or did you run into any issues with any songs?
Um, I believe it's the opening track, which is Hammer. That song we've been working on for probably 4 years.
Oh, wow. That's a
That's
while.
that it's the oldest song on the record. Like we put that together a long time ago, and we tore it apart, we changed it, we moved stuff. We stopped playing it for a while. We put it on the shelf. We pulled it back off the shelf. Went back at it. So it's a pretty old. It's definitely a 4 year old song.
So,
So it's fun that that song is finally it's finished. It's done, and people can hear it.
so what took so long on that song?
Sometimes you just something doesn't feel right, or
Hmm.
the part just doesn't make sense. Or I think in this case, at one point, we were just trying to put a little too much into it. And it was getting to that 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8 minute mark. And it's like, okay, what are we doing here? The song doesn't flow, it doesn't reach a crescendo, it doesn't drive home a point.
Hmm.
Back then, it does now, which I'm happy about. But I think it's more concise, it's more focused, and
Hmm.
it still sounds like how it always sounds. It's just tweaked up here and there, tightened up.
So, how do you know when a song is finished?
If it feels good, it is good.
Yeah. Some just takes a little bit longer than others.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a kind of it's a collective. If
Hmm.
we're writing something new and we all put it together, 9 times out of 10, someone's going to have a complaint about something somewhere. Hey,
Yeah.
this one note doesn't feel right. This part's dragging a little bit. It needs to hit harder. Can we do this? Can we do that? And I think that's probably how I assume everybody does it. But it's pretty rare that someone brings something to the table that's just like it's finished.
Yeah.
I think we're a little bit of perfectionists, and I think we're always going to kind of nitpick both ourselves
Mhm.
and each other to make it as good as we possibly can.
So if you guys do have a disagreement about like the song, like, oh, I think this should be here or maybe not there, how do you guys resolve that?
The best way you can with bandmates and friends, we just kind of hash it out, and
No,
we
like no rock, paper, scissors or going in the ring to hash it out.
no, it's pretty much just comes down to a vote.
Hmm.
We'll all take votes on it if it even needs to, but typically, one of us can usually sway the other towards kind of seeing things the way we see them.
Well, that's good. At least you guys, have a way to get through those hurdles.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, was there any song that changed a lot from what it started as to the end result on the album?
Outside of the first one,
Hmm.
there's a interlude right in the middle of it. That's Dwelling, and Dwelling was a definitely kind of out of left field. Did you
Hmm.
recall that one? It's kind of like it starts off very quiet with clean singing.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Uh,
listened to the whole album twice.
okay. So that one, Thad, he wanted to make a song that was kind of like a Planet Caravan, something that
Hmm.
was low key, kind of spooky, just to kind of give you a breather before the riffs come back and just hopefully pummel people. And that one, definitely went through a lot of changes and iterations, kind of finding what was going to work and what wasn't. I want to say that one was significantly different when it was
Hmm.
first brought to the table, and I think it's cleaned up at this point, and I think it sounds good.
Yeah, I
And
think it's really cool.
in a weird way, I think it's actually one of my favorites, or I know it's one of Thad's favorites because it's so different. I mean, it's unlike anything else that's on the album, and it's unlike anything else in our past. So I
Yeah,
think that keeps it interesting, and interesting is fresh, and fresh is fun.
exactly. And I like how it's like a little breather, like a little break, and then you're like, okay, we're gonna finish the rest of this.
Yeah, and I hopefully it should line up exactly with like on a vinyl record. That should be like closing out one side, or it should perfectly start the other side. One of the two.
Yeah,
We hope. I think that it does.
awesome.
Yeah, it just gives your ears a break.
For sure. And it's always nice to have, it's like, if you watch a long movie, like you get that little break and then you're like, okay, let's like power into the rest of it. I think it was really cool. I was like, okay, this is different. Like I wasn't expecting it at all. So I think
Yeah,
listeners are going to be pleasantly surprised by that.
yeah, I think so too.
So I have to ask, are there any bass line, solos, or lyrics that you really like in the album?
Like them all. As a general blanket statement, I think that Thad came up with some really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The yet to be our third single that's yet to be released is called Bones. And it is, I mean, you can definitely put your own meaning to it, but it is a little bit more direct and about the bones. How do I describe this? Basically, being haunted by the ghosts of your past. It's the
Mm-hmm.
easiest way to say it. And I like that one thematically. I like because I think that all of us have all of us have been haunted by ghosts of our past, either things that we've done or people have done to us.
For
I
sure.
think burying those bones is a good thing as far as progressing and maturing and growing up. So that theme in general, I think I really like.
And is there any song that has like a bass line that you really like, or, riff that you really enjoy playing?
Pot of Gold. That's track two. That was one of the main starting riff was one that I came up with. So obviously, we all love our own babies, right? And
For
that
sure.
that riff is a little bit of my baby, so I like that. I like that one a lot.
Awesome. Would you say like that's the song that you feel like emotionally attached to on the album since you kind of like helped it be like created?
Um, I wouldn't say emotionally connected to it. I really like it, and I think it's fun, and it's fairly upbeat, and I think it gets people going. And
Hmm.
we open with it, at least we have lately. So it's a really good opener to just come out swinging with something on the faster side, as
Hmm.
opposed to starting out with something really slow and dreary. Sometimes it can turn people off right off the bat. But emotionally, I'm probably more tied to the one I was just mentioning to you, Bones, just because of the thematic elements to it.
Right. Would you say that's kind of like the heart of the album, like that song?
It could be, but there's also harkening back to that the last track, "Waiting by the Gallows." That
Hmm.
kind of could be the heart of the album too.
So it's like we'll give it to them both. That way you don't have to choose one.
Yeah, I mean, just a little piece of trivia. We almost named the album "Waiting by the Gallows."
Okay. What kind of changed it to the like what made you decide not to go with that?
I think we didn't want to have an album title match a song title because it would
Hmm.
give undue focus to one song as opposed to someone looking at the whole piece thematically together. So
Gotcha.
we went with the title that isn't named after a song.
So no favorites on this album. They're
They're
all
all
cool.
they're all favorites. Exactly. We don't I mean everyone's going to have their own favorites, right? But
Right.
we wanted people to just pick it naturally instead
Hmm.
of ending up with this is the title track off the album. This must be their favorite. This is going to be my favorite. And I don't know. However, people come up with this stuff.
So I know you mentioned that the band seems to have a perfectionist side. Who is the member who is the biggest perfectionist?
That
And why would you choose him?
it's we know it. I think he knows it too. He can be quite picky, and we have a little code. It's not a code word. It's a we talk about nuances a lot, and
Mhm.
he has a fixation on subtle nuances,
So he
which is
just wants it
okay. That's what makes him good.
perfect. Well, it's a good thing he's a part of the band then. Sounds like you have some really valuable members as well.
Yeah, I whether it's from coming up from punk rock or one thing or another, or just my personality, I can like I'm more apt to just say, yeah, it's good enough. And I think, Thad kind of dials myself and anyone else back as far as like, let's take a second look at this.
Right. Well,
Whatever
that's
it may be.
so I know you mentioned that you are quitting your day job so you can spend more time with the band. So I have to ask for fans, what's next for the band?
So we have a 5-day run with Temple of the Fuzzwitch. That is August 26th to the 31st. We're going to Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, Lynchburg, Virginia. Then
Hmm.
we play here in Charlotte at Seismic Summerfest. That's presented by Does It Doom. I host that as well. And then after that is Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay.
After those 5 days, the very next weekend we are playing Hopscotch Fest in Raleigh, which is a huge multi-venue, multi-genre, independent music festival that's been happening right in downtown Raleigh, North Carolina for 12 years.
Okay. And you guys are excited about these shows?
Oh, absolutely.
Are
We,
there
we haven't we haven't played a whole lot of shows this year in prepping for this album. There's when you're not just recording, but you've got to listen to mixing edits. You've got to the final masters, the selection of the artwork, tweaking the artwork. There's so much planning that we haven't really had a whole lot of time to play. So I
mhm.
think we're all excited to get back out there and really put some energy and passion into it.
Are there any songs that you're going to be playing for the first time at these shows?
Yes, I don't know which one. I don't think they've been selected yet, but we will be. There will be songs off this album that has not been performed live in any capacity.
So how do you feel when you play a song live for the first time?
I feel good about it. It's especially like you some of these songs like older ones you play them for years and years like they kind of lose their luster there, and you have to give them a break, and then you have to give them a
Mhm.
rest. So I always love playing brand new stuff because it catches people off guard. It shows like, hey, we're still writing music. We're not just gonna play the same 5, 6 songs for the next decade. Like people need to know that like, the art's evolving. We're giving you new stuff.
Mhm.
New is good. New is better, right? At least in the music industry.
For
Um,
sure.
so
Yeah, that is true. The music industry changes a lot very quickly.
it's the world moves fast.
Yeah. So, kind of a fun question. If you could collaborate with anyone on your next album, who would it be and why?
Anyone, huh?
Anyone. Dead or alive?
Living or dead?
Yes, doesn't matter.
Easy. Pete Steele.
And why?
Well, he's passed unfortunately, but he we love Typo Negative. I think he
Hmm.
was one of the best frontmen that were ever out there. His
Hmm.
stage presence, his voice. I mean, Typo Negative is. I mean, they're gods. So rest in peace, Pete Steele. But if living or dead, if I could choose anybody, it would probably definitely be him. If we were talking about like someone who's still alive, um, I like guest solos. So if someone could just like come in and do a guest solo, that'd be awesome.
Anyone in particular, or is open to whoever?
I mean, it's open to whoever, just somebody who can really shred.
All right, awesome. I have one last question here for you. Is there anything you want to say to your fans that have been with you from the beginning or anyone interested in listening to this album when it comes out?
Absolutely. Everyone who's been, part of the Reaper faithful since its inception, we love you. We appreciate you. We know you're there. For everyone who hasn't heard us yet, hey, please check out this album. You may be surprised. I don't think that it's going to be the same old thing you've heard before.
For sure.
It's a fresh take on doom metal.
And I listened to it twice. I think that's very accurate. I think people are definitely going to want to listen to it for sure.
I hope so.
So, for anyone interested, the album is called Bleed the Wicked, Drown the Damned. It comes out on September the 26th, and I'll make it super easy for everyone watching. I'll leave all the links below so you can click on it and pre order it or order it if it's already out. So, I want to thank you again so much for taking your time for doing this interview.
Of course. Thank you, Alex. We appreciate you.
No problem. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.